You have 5 days to create a potential film, game, animation, or TV show with artists you have never met before.
Team 2, may I have Rita Rosa, please? Matthew Dawn.
Hi everyone, welcome to Team 2 or Team Rainbow.
I think they are pretty well organized.
That's fucking great, you guys. Keep going.
We're going somewhere, we're achieving something.
Really good job.
We'll definitely have something to show in the last day.
It's a big secret. I'm not going to tell you about what it is exactly.
But I think the goal is just to find a way to work within the talents of your team.
Programming.
And keeping everyone in the same line of thought, like at the same goal.
And then that's when the team gets really closer and then starts making magic.
Come, sit with us. We're on the show of hands, how many people have done this before? I know you're young now.
The challenge of collabs brought me back this year.
I'm follow the art community, so I knew it like what is collab. But here right now, when you're working on that, it's like,
what am I doing here? Yeah, right? I thought maybe I should do something here, not just sit and watch talks, because I'll be watching all the talks over and over again on THU TV.
And this is my full-time THU, second time in collabs.
Collabs for me is an opportunity to work in a team. Like as a street artist, I mainly work by myself.
For a living, I do many projects with small teams. But it's very different to have instant feedback every day and having the nights there with professional opinion on it.
Okay, here's our first agenda.
those guys, basically what they're doing here is what they're gonna do in a work environment. So trying to learn that in like 3 days.
Not necessarily to come up with an end product, but for the experience itself of making that product.
We have a need, like in another team is less people, and we need to share some of you, one of you, with them.
I'm gonna leave it up to you guys.
We were not sure about who we were going to choose to move from our team to the other.
To the, as well, to the, I can go there. I sacrifice myself.
It's literally like just to balance out the personnel. It wasn't a need for anything in specific.
Okay.
Right?
Maybe at the end of the day, after like an hour, 2, 3, when we maybe go into some work, that we'll might see someone that kind of is left over, like, I don't know what to do. If they want to go to another team, they can go.
Imagine all is in grayscale, and when the unicorns appear, start in color.
Or everyone was turned to unicorns, and you are responsible to collect some stuff to bring color back to Earth.
Or when you attack, you bring color to the wall because the wall becomes gray.
Guys, Stefan, the concept artist is running a little bit late. They need to go.
And I've entered the collabs for the first time, so it's all very exciting.
Everybody's happy with this?
Stefan stepped in and realized, just as the team were developing the idea for the game, he realized he wasn't a good fit. So for a minute, he took himself out of that and was asking about where he could be a better fit someplace else. Now, it just happened to be that another team could use his help, and so he moved on to the other team.
I didn't want to join a team where I didn't have my heart in it. I would only drag them down, I think.
Hopefully he feels better there, or he has a better role there.
Was that the best result for your team?
It wasn't up to me, right? So what I said was like, what does this look like for you? But that situation was a great chance to learn and to be able to teach how do you navigate personalities within your team that aren't always aligned to the vision that you guys are all trying to go through.
One of the challenges of the collabs is that you get thrown in a group of people you've never met. I was kind of nervous because I didn't know exactly what was the level of the team. And that is like what excites me about collabs, but it's also like a frustration where you don't know what their preferred workflow is.
But now I've met them, it's really cool, it's really informal, and it's nice to work with them.
We build up on our ideas, we don't like fight over to push our own ideas.
Right now we have too many ideas to decide, so everybody has a different idea and we are trying to combine everything.
We're looking at a lot of YouTube clips from previous games that everybody likes.
It's really old school, it's pixel art basically. So, but the character goes through rooms trying to escape.
For example here. So the background is grey, so you can't pass. So you turn it blue, and that's like a really fun mechanic.
Right now the group is trying to decide the basic storyline of the game.
It can be like a child playing in a fantasy world that's completely made up in her mind. When she puts on a unicorn, like she pretends like she's a superhero.
We have some ideas about being a Trojan horse, like a unicorn hat with a regular body.
Also we can work in the assets in grayscale and add color at the end.
A dark world filled with dark, scary enemies, and it's sort of a metaphor for art block, anxiety, depression, or a fantasy world that you're in as a child. Yeah, I think that's it.
One of the biggest challenges that I put up on the board is like 5 stations, 10 people that you guys figured out, you're a team, and they found their way through that very naturally and organically.
I would like to divide the walls up now so everybody kind of knows what they're working on, and then figure out how we're going to use 5 computers with 10 people. Like I have my own laptop.
It's a nice surprise that the team lead there from last year is here again this year.
And I can tell, he have like a solid direction, he listen a lot.
I want to like get more experience in a leadership role, which is something I'm not often presented in my career.
I was afraid at first. Is he going to take over? But I think he understood the process and he's leading by helping everybody get there faster.
What I like about Matthew the most is he tries to ask as many questions as possible.
And he didn't say, I know exactly what to do, follow me guys, and then everybody becomes followers and he becomes a leader, which is the opposite of collabs.
And it feels like the team is coming together very quickly.
I want to stress the fact that we have limited time, like we can't make everything.
Keep in mind there's a clock ticking.
We decided on doing a prototype for a side-scroller game.
I'm trying to figure out like the basic mechanics and how to turn this into not only just another platform game, but with something memorable.
Right now we're deciding on characters, environments. There's some people working on storyboards, some people on character design.
My work here is put all the ideas for my colleagues, put in as one image to show the look and feel of the product that we want to achieve.
I am the odd one out. I am a programmer in this project. I'm going to code the game for all the amazing stuff they do.
Hi everyone, welcome to Team 2 or Team Rainbow. We are gonna make a 2D platformer, side-scrolling, inspired by the artist's journey and by THU as well. Our main character is Susie, a 16-year-old girl who is frustrated with making art, is frightened by the white paper, and she dives into a fantasy world by putting on a huge unicorn mask or hat, in which she dives into her subconscious, her anxiety, her depression, her fears of the white paper, and she will be attacked by paper monsters, like balls of paper attacking her, and she has to defeat them and go from a world of darkness on the left to a colorful world on the right and fight for good art. Any questions?
You mentioned anxiety, depression and everything. Are you planning on making a bigger part of it? Because right now the villains are just balls of papers, but are you planning on doing villains about these two?
A big part we want to bring it is like the fear of the white paper, and like sort of that paper crumble monster, and other several versions are gonna come back, but I know what you're getting at. We're struggling with it, working on it. Hopefully we'll deliver. Like the most important part for the project right now is the model. for the character, which I want to have done as soon as possible so you can start rigging and animating it. Then next up is for noon today, I want to have a sketch for the parallax. By Wednesday, I want to have the storyboard for the beginning of the story. Wednesday afternoon also the character textured, so it needs to be unwrapped by then, and one of the artists, whoever got time or wants to do it most, can put some texture on it.
So all this Tuesday is story, or I'm not even sure.
Is today Wednesday?
Yes. Today is Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday.
Yes. So you have 1 day less.
All the schedule they have for the whole thing, they almost kind of like fuck up. What?
What a bug, what a bug.
The first reality check. The thing to the schedule is know which day are you.
I don't want to freak them out. I just want to help them.
And then everything extra, there was on Friday, which is now Panic Day. Character effects on me.
Can you pass this to her? Yeah. I will pass you the bridge, because the bridge, half of the bridge is in a different shape.
And then maybe, if there's too much time, we can do an ending to the story.
We decided to go for a 2D scroller platform game, but the characters and the levels have 3D elements.
If you're okay with it, like you can start just reworking these.
So I just grab your sketches and clean them up. Okay.
Yeah, like you have a really nice style. I love your illustrations. So just do it like the way you would do it in similar compositions.
So I'm coding the game for this project. I'm currently working on movement and jumping, simple things still, until they gather all the assets, and then I can put it all together and see if it works or not.
So is this the slime enemy, or do I do something else?
Yeah, this is good for me.
So far they were working kind of like individuals. So as an artist, it's really easy to say, okay, I'm a character artist, I'm gonna do my character. When I finish my character, I give it to you. And I told them they are kind of like wrong.
Add all your props, whatever you needed. Like temporary props, could be like a sphere, could be like a square, whatever.
Tomorrow, work on top of that. But if you have a solid base, everything it's gonna work, it's gonna be much easier.
Is my sketch. Later, I need to do this.
I give them that example. When you do a concept art, you start doing like a sketch. Later, you're coming with a line, and later you're coming with the colors.
So some of you are here. Some of you talking about animations. You guys are here.
One of those guys is like starting the level design. He's start modeling the house, everything really well, but the rest is empty. So the programmer, he was like, what can I do? The animator was, can I do? So it's like, okay guys, you need to work as a team, because if you work like separately, maybe when you put it all together, it's not working.
I don't know, just a suggestion for me. As I was looking at it over there, I observe more than anything, and anytime that I think that there's a way to adjust, I go in there, but it's rare that I do, so I feel really super useless. And at the moment I think I'm about to say a top-level message, they already get to it already.
And they are making really smart decisions.
Yeah, like it would be better in 3D, but he's not confident in his rigging skills, so that might take too much time before we can start animating. And we have a lot of artists, like all of you can pitch in to the 2D animation.
They were spending kind of time, more time doing the 3D for the character, so they decided to move to 2D.
It is possible, but then you can't have a 3D floor, because then it makes no sense. Yeah, it does work, but it's going to be weird. I'm just considering the character going one way and then turning that way, then it's going to be like a paper.
We are going to do most of the stuff in 2D, which means that your asset is the only 3D asset that's going to be in the game, and that might look weird. So there is a possibility that we say that we're going to go fully 2D.
Thanks to that decision, they are moving so fast.
I'm really impressed and incredibly proud of their ability to be smart about their decision making.
I was like, yes, that's cool, that's cool.
Welcome to Rainbow Studios, day 2. We basically want to create 2 things at the end of these collabs. Introduce our story with an animated storyboard and then show a gameplay demo. So we have a rough version. It introduces our character sitting behind the desk, not knowing what to create, feeling bored, frustrated, getting angry, smashing her head on the desk, like, oh my fucking god, throwing a sketchbook against the wall, like, fuck this shit. Storms out of the room, goes downstairs, and that's where she finds the mask and thinks like, maybe I should do something with it. Puts it on, and that's when she lands in her fantasy world. We have created a 3D level on which the character walks that just flips around when you turn. Has like a little idle animation with the eye going back and forth. You can run, jump, and fall. That was the one thing that could go wrong.
Because it's an artist game, like, can you integrate the element of drawing in gameplay somehow?
I have an idea. You could just use a particle system on the character, and as she's running, she's drawing lines. You could just have maze levels or something where she has to draw.
That's a cool idea, I like it, but that would mean that we would pivot our entire design. We'll write it down and maybe do something with it. I'll focus the pitch a little bit more on explaining the game and the game mechanics.
No, you set it up right by saying, here's where we are right now, right? All the stuff that we've built so far. But at the end of it, after you fell down a bunch of times, right? Right? Like, the thing to do is to say, like, here are some of the things that we have yet to incorporate and we're planning to do.
Oh yeah, by the way, we have a job opening for a female voice actress to do some sounds on the storyboard.
If you look at how we do it in real life, if we need an animator, we go and hire for one. We don't just say, we don't have one.
Hey, I could totally do voiceover if you need that.
And then them reaching outside their team is natural, and they should.
When she's banging her head, you can do like a couple of like, oh my god.
God damn it, this fucking...
Who knows? It may be like, that's fucking great, you guys, keep going, right? Or it might be like, have you guys thought about putting the rock over here instead so that she jumps over on the other side and it's a lot cleaner, yeah? Cool?
Thank you so much.
No problem.
It's gonna be great.
This team right now, I think last night they didn't get enough feedback. So I think if we get some nights and then we sit there and give them a review and really ask.
Like an outside eye.
Because once you have the public come in, they're really not there to give feedback. They're more there as an experience, you know?
These weren't reviews, they were pitches again. So they got no feedback that can give them and move them forward. So can I get you guys any amount of time that passes through? It's just a waste of time. I was really concerned.
You want to do it now?
Yep.
Okay.
So basically, we made like a case shot for the final look and feel that we were looking.
So that was kind of the quick inspiration to start doing something and having sort of something represent her anxiety.
And this morning we came in and the feedback was now a little bit more grounded.
Sparth was there to talk about color.
When we want to represent a rainbow world and something that is going to be insanely colorful, we tend to want to put all tones in there. You should maybe define a few tones.
I gave my feedback on the cinematic shots and how you can really incorporate the emotional beats that you want to get. Anything that you can do to help introduce the audience to a level of frustration that we want to be able to relate to her position.
If it wasn't for the intro, you definitely don't get the thematic of I'm a frustrated artist trying to be better.
That thematic is being taken over a little too much by the unicorn. I think that's what gives the charm. I think that's a really strong, kind of icon to kind of go around. I would just want to make sure that you don't forget about your actual goal, which is, I think, is stronger.
You have this kind of silhouetted world that goes into a happy world, but with those visuals, I'm not getting sketchbook, drawing, art block. You just get general upset and then general happiness.
And as great as the designs were, they were missing that theme of their original projects. You know, a girl in the middle of a psychosis having creative block in her sketchbook.
Maybe it's really blank, just line work, and little by little it starts to become more formed.
She's finding her way through, and as she builds her confidence up, more color gets reintroduced.
This is a side-scrolling platform. some interactive, some kind of like game elements. Are you planning on putting any of those in there?
It's all about the idea of like creative block, right? In that case, she should be sketching. If you have a pencil, if you have something, it's just gonna scratch the paper.
Like this is the part, like if I jump down, there's like spikes and stuff.
Those spikes, are they going to be like pencils or something like that?
It could be.
They give us really good ideas, and we're going to just try to grab everything, put it in line.
We'll see. It's 2 more days.
Oh yeah.
Of course, here's timing is a big deal. So sometimes you have to focus like, okay, what we need to do in the minimum amount of time.
And now they're having to make the hard decision of what feedback is more important than others.
Okay, they are giving me feedback about something more specific, but the whole idea is really clear, and that is a succeed.
So if we stay here 6 or 7 more days, can you guys do everything that we just did?
Here it's like 3 days, like go for it, man. Like, no, you have to make really sure what you're doing.
And make sure that you guys are all on board on this.
Now the game.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can make the jump. You transform to a fully white game demo where the character just kind of now the team is focused on doing the game level partially all over again.
Just like scribbles attacking her, because usually when the artist draws something and he doesn't like it, he will be scribbling all over. We have some ideas how the monsters are created. Like sometimes if you're sketching and you don't like the sketch, you try to make it disappear, like you don't want to see it anymore. And these scribbles are the monsters that she will be fighting.
So what I'm suggesting is maybe perhaps she would draw something in like a specific shape, and that would be the jump. And then if she draws it,
Squish it. Take a photo of this from different sides.
After the pitch we presented yesterday, we decided to add some art elements. So I'm trying to remodel some things in the level and also change the texture so it fits the new art direction.
we still have to match all the assets, especially the backgrounds for the parallax. In terms of gameplay, there's still a few mechanics like the jump and some more animations for the enemies.
Rita, who's a programmer, she already used Unity for a year, but then I was able to show her a Cinemachine, which is a smart camera system that we have introduced very recently.
You have it?
Yeah, I'm really happy.
The feedback we give them at the beginning, like, guys, you are working separately, this is a team thing. That, I think, was a really nice build relation.
I think there's a group thinking that's just as strong as if you're one director, which is a thing that you can celebrate at the end of this. You guys did it together as opposed to being told by one guy.
They are doing awesome because I guess they are thinking as a team.
And the magic happened.
The result you can see, like, they are really close to finish the project.
Well, finish, that's a big word.
Unfortunately, I think there's still a lot to do, even though there's very little time.
Are we going to have enough work to show?
I hope so. Maybe you can do something playable.
For this year in the collabs, we are in the bunker. So now we don't have any sense of daytime or nighttime.
We have people being here till very late nights, some of them even getting kicked out of here.
I think they're going to finish. Yeah, that's why they're still here.
See you there.
Basically, I cleaning up the storyboard, and I took this as a reference, and I put everything like this in color. I will put frame by frame, just a storyboard, because the schedule is really tidy.
What they did was really smart at the very beginning. They didn't think too big, and they made everything so it was buildable.
It's nothing crazy like, oh, do you final boss or whatever, I have my guns, No. It's simple.
That's great. He just needs to look so much more intimidating.
Thanks to a great team, we had some great concept artists make incredible illustrations. We had a lot of art assets to show from the beginning.
Your team is amazing. Congratulations on all the hard work.
I think it's going to be great.
We have made a 2D side-scrolling platformer called Susie's Sketchbook. Our main character is Susie, a 16-year-old girl, an aspiring artist, and she's having issues with creativity. And in order to deal with that, she has to reconnect with her inner child that innocence inside of her that thinks everything in the world is wonderful. And to do that, she grabs back to a present that she got in her childhood, which is a unicorn mask, which was very dear to her, but throughout the years, she forgot about it. We have been inspired by THU and unicorns, and the journey that an artist takes in general to go from something shitty to something that they really like and are passionate about. We had the idea of beginning with a child, but after a couple of hours of discussing it with the team, we came to the conclusion that a teenager might be someone that's psychologically more fit to carry the issues that we are trying to address. Storyboard time!
No, no, no. No, not this one either.
For the level and the game mechanics, you know, it's a standard traditional 2D platform. You have to jump on stuff, you have special attacks, enemies that float, run around. The coolest one that I liked the most was the rainbow fart jump, where the character would crouch down, charge up an attack, then jump in an arc, and a rainbow would come out of her ass. So for the enemies that you face in the game, scribbly, black, badly doodled monsters, really undefined, and then the more you progress, the better you become as an artist, and the more well-defined and cartoony and original those enemies become. Okay, game time! So as you can see, you start out in the sketchy world, really badly drawn doodles, etc. A couple of enemies flying around that you can destroy. As you can see, like the background becomes more colorful, it turns into a blue sky. And now begins the part where you jump into the colorful part of the world. And at the end, you find your creativity, you find that childlike wonder, and you retrieve the sketchbook, jump up, and that's the end of the game.
At the end of the day, I'm impressed.
Man, I can step up for that project and make it like a full game.
I really want to thank my team for making these collabs an amazing experience. You guys were crazy.
I could stay here forever, I mean, with you guys.
It was a great experience. I learned a lot. I think all of us learned a lot.
Some things I'll take from here to apply in my own personal work. For example, one thing I never did was parallax. Yeah. And the first time they talked to me, I thought like, oh, okay, I have to code it so that one moves faster than the other. And then Matthew comes along and is like, no, you just put it further in the back.
I want to thank the Knights, Eric and Daniel for teaching us all the stuff and helping us out with our problems when we had them.
I don't know if at the end of the day the goal is to make the game.
It's not about the result, it's about the process.
The most important part is we learn that if you work in a team, you can achieve better goals.
I think that ultimately is the biggest takeaway.
And thank you guys for listening.
Collabs are over. See you next year.